Introducing the next big thing in wrestling today, WrestleCrate.com, a monthly pro wrestling based subscription service starting as low as $14.99 a month with items that include Mattel action figures, Funko Pop, pro wrestling tees, and signed memorabilia by the biggest names in the business today. For more information, on Twitter at WrestleCrates and our official website www.WrestleCrate.com. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is part 3 of the #1 fucking source right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. This is Off the Script, episode number 84, man. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday morning with me and closing out your weekend with me right here on Off the Script. I'm still feeling a little bit under the weather, man. Can't seem to shake this cold. I've been coughing up a storm this morning. Hopefully I can get through this episode in one piece for you guys. I got a great episode for you. Major news on The Undertaker and 3 potential opponents for him at WrestleMania 32. We'll discuss that as well as Carlito being rumored to come back to the WWE, NXT TakeOver Respect, the full card, and also news on SmackDown with major changes coming to the brand as they move over to the USA Network in January 2016. Plus, we'll end the episode with your Q&A on Sunday morning. All right, a lot to go over, guys. If you missed Off the Script this weekend, parts 1 and 2 links will be down in the description below, as well as a little drop-down box with that exclamation point. If you guys are watching on mobile or if you're watching on PC, all you gotta do is click that exclamation point. It'll take you right to part 1 and part 2 of Off the Script this weekend if you guys missed all that stuff, all right? If you're not following me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Facebook, follow JD all over social media. Keep up to date with what's going on here on the channel. If you just want to discuss wrestling with me, video games, etc., etc., tweet with me during Monday Night Raw, during pay-per-views, at JD from NY206, and the Twitch channel as well, man. Twitch.tv/JD from NY206 with WWE 2K16 less than a month away. That will be your #1 destination for all 2K16 content, man. Most entertaining 2K16 content right here on YouTube and Twitch. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We always call ourselves the #1 source. I just don't say it just to say it. I mean it. So subscribe to the channel. This is your #1 stop for WWE news and rumors, okay? Now, before I get into the news, guys, one quick note. Joe Cronin and I, we've been discussing doing a show, a weekly show. I don't want anybody to do it with except for Joe, man. He came to me. We got a name picked out. I believe the plans are, as of now, to go live on Wednesday. Whether it's going to be on my channel or his channel, we're going to discuss that. But it's probably going to be through Google Hangouts. We're going to go live. We're going to talk wrestling. We're going to take calls. We're going to discuss everything under the sun, man. It doesn't got to be wrestling. We can discuss anything you guys want. We're going to go live, me and Joe, our own podcast, man. The debut episode on Wednesday. And then from there on out, we're going to go live every Friday night. It's going to be amazing. Joe's great. We're going to grow his channel in the process. We're going to get the fucking wrestling out there to the masses. We're going to take over the YWC, man. The YWC is going to go through Joe Cronin and JD. Nobody else, man. We're taking over the fucking YWC, and we're leaving everybody else behind us, man. What's the name of the podcast? Out of Nowhere with Cronin and JD, man. That's the name of it. It's going to be fucking awesome. This Wednesday is the plan. I will keep you guys updated. Follow me on Twitter for all the late-breaking information with that. And I believe I will be doing a Monday Night Raw review tomorrow after the show. So I will again address that with you guys and remind you as well. But I'll be mentioning it all week on Twitter until we go live on Wednesday. That's the plan. So be excited for that, guys. It's going to be fucking awesome for each and every one of you, all right? Now, let's get into the news, guys, before I start coughing up a fucking storm here on Off the Script. The Undertaker will be looking to boost his historic record at WrestleMania to 23-1 next year in Texas at AT&T Stadium. According to the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE officials are looking at 3 possible opponents to go one-on-one with the Deadman at the pay-per-view. Seth Rollins, John Cena, and one that I hope I never get to see because I would fucking take a bottle of NyQuil just like I do when Big Show and Kane come out. Braun Strowman. Rollins, the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion, is rumored to be facing Kane at Hell in a Cell next month for the title. Undertaker hasn't squared off with Cena since his Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick. This potential dream match has been rumored for years, with WrestleMania 32 perhaps being the last time WWE can realistically pull it off. During WWE's upcoming tour of Mexico, The Undertaker will be reuniting with Kane to reform the Brothers of Destruction to take on Luke Harper and Braun Strowman of the Wyatt family. Strowman being booked against the legendary superstar would be a testament to the amount of confidence WWE has in its giant. The Undertaker's immediate future, though, lies at WWE Hell in a Cell on October 23rd at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, as he'll face Brock Lesnar inside the demonic structure in the third and final match of their epic trilogy. Now, a lot of you guys have asked me, JD, how would I book, or JD, how would you book WrestleMania 32? All right. Seth Rollins versus The Undertaker is a very intriguing match, but I don't think Seth Rollins needs to fight The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I really don't. You know, it would be a great get for Seth Rollins. I mean, he's done it all already in WWE. He's a WWE champion. He had a WrestleMania moment. He won the fucking title at WrestleMania with a Money in the Bank briefcase cash-in. He held the United States Championship for a month and the WWE title for a month consecutively. You know, he beat John Cena. He's had a hell of a year. You know, he is literally the guy right now on WWE TV. To get The Undertaker at WrestleMania would be fucking, you know, doing something that a lot of people fucking dream of in an entire career to do. Seth Rollins versus The Undertaker would be a fantastic match. I believe it would steal the show if it could, you know, if it did happen. But I don't think Seth Rollins right now, and the use of Seth Rollins, would be for The Undertaker. Yes, it would be great. We would love to see it, but that's not using Seth Rollins and the WWE Championship to its full potential, okay? I see Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar again in the rematch at WrestleMania. That's what I think the WWE needs to build towards. All right, Brock Lesnar, Undertaker are going to put their differences aside. After Hell in a Cell, it's going to be over. No more Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, all right? I'm glad it's happening in the Cell. We discussed that on part 2. I'm glad it's happening in the Cell. Brock Lesnar from here has to go back and revisit what had happened at Battleground. He never got a match with Seth Rollins. Undertaker just completely ruined that match, man. He got maybe 6 or 7 suplexes in on Seth Rollins, was going on to a clear-cut victory, and then The Undertaker just comes out of nowhere and just wants revenge. He wants retribution for what happened at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar never finished that match. That match was a no contest. Lesnar deserves another match because he was screwed out of that title by The Undertaker. They have to revisit that. So with me, if you guys are asking me how I would book WrestleMania, and this is probably one of the questions you guys asked me for the Q&A at the end of the show, I would have Brock Lesnar go into the Royal Rumble and win the Royal Rumble. Seriously. And from in the Royal Rumble, you develop feuds that will take place over the next couple of months following the Rumble, okay? You gotta make this the biggest Royal Rumble of all time. The most star-studded Royal Rumble of all time. Get Kurt Angle. Get a Jeff Hardy. Get these surprises in there. Start building your WrestleMania through the Royal Rumble. That's what they used to do back in the day. And WWE needs to revisit that in 2016. Get Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble. You know, use my Daniel Bryan, Kurt Angle, you know, plan. That would be phenomenal. That would be absolutely phenomenal. You have Daniel Bryan and Kurt Angle own the ring for a good 10 to 15 minutes in the Royal Rumble by themselves, just going at it. Then you got Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble. You have Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle cross paths. That would send fucking goosebumps up and down a casual viewer's fucking arms, dude. Seriously. Even your longtime guys, you've been seeing Kurt Angle say that he's quit TNA or he's quitting TNA. This is his last contract with TNA. Get him in the Rumble. Get him in the Rumble, man. He needs to be at WrestleMania. Those little things will make the Royal Rumble all that much special. Lesnar in the Rumble, obviously, he's got to win it. You know, stack the deck against him. WWE's got to go back and rebuild him as the face. The face that they wanted Brock Lesnar to be before they suspended him, okay? Before the title match against Seth Rollins. He came back from suspension. He was hot. You know, the fans wanted to cheer him. You know, that entire explosion after WrestleMania was fucking brilliant by WWE booking, okay? They made Brock Lesnar a true babyface. People wanted to cheer, and people wanted to be on the side of Brock Lesnar because they want to see Brock Lesnar get revenge against Seth Rollins, okay? And Seth Rollins is a beatable heel, okay? He can go in the ring. He's fantastic in the ring, but he is a beatable heel. And Brock Lesnar, being the face of the company, has to go through all these steps to get to Seth Rollins, man. The Authority can stack the deck against him. They can rebuild that face run, that baby face run for Brock Lesnar, have him go into the Royal Rumble and win the Royal Rumble. Have him earn his shot instead of just giving it to him, usually, what they usually do. Have him win the Royal Rumble and have him go up against the odds leading up to WrestleMania, where he again captures the WWE Championship and the Beast Incarnate reigns over the WWE. As for The Undertaker and WrestleMania, I think John Cena is the best choice. Now, you know, WWE has a few different ways to make this special. You know, I would love to see this be a title match. Seriously. I know a lot of you guys don't want John Cena to win the WWE Championship, but John Cena versus The Undertaker is a great match, you know, but this is the reason why I didn't want the streak to be broken. I did not want the streak to be broken for this reason, because you knew that the WWE was going to go down this road eventually, and that road is John Cena versus The Undertaker. Can you imagine if The Undertaker was undefeated at WrestleMania, and he went into WrestleMania 32 in front of 100,000 plus against John Cena with the streak on the line? Can you imagine what that would do for everyone watching? Everyone watching at home, the casual viewer who knows the fucking streak, the people who merely buy WWE pay-per-views just to see WrestleMania. That one pay-per-view that they buy all year, WrestleMania. They know the undefeated streak is intact. They know who John Cena is. They know what John Cena means to the company. They know who John Cena is and how he performs in the ring and how WWE treats him as an in-ring performer. He is their guy. That streak would have been in the utmost jeopardy. That streak would have been so fucking intriguing. Will it be broken, or will The Undertaker come out on top if The Undertaker was still undefeated? This is why I didn't want it to be broken. They did it. The damage was done. I think it was a mistake. Now you're going into WrestleMania 32 with the potential of a John Cena-Undertaker match. And what does it mean? What does it mean? They have to build this match around something. But what will it be built around? You know? Is it just going to be built around because they are the two most legendary people in the WWE right now on the active roster? I don't know. But to me, if you're going to have this match, yeah, it's going to be a great match, but it needs to have something built around it. You know? And I think the WWE Championship would be best for this. Now, how would you get John Cena the WWE Championship? I don't know, man. I really don't know. That's up to WWE creative. They could go a few different ways. Yada yada yada. You know, you could have had fucking Sting versus John Cena at Survivor Series. You know, Sting could have won the title if he didn't get hurt, or if WWE wanted to book Sting a small WWE Championship run, they could have booked Sting to win the WWE Championship against Seth Rollins. Sure. And then you could have John Cena versus Sting at Survivor Series. You could have built that pay-per-view off that. And then Sting would drop the title to Cena. Cena would hold the title to WrestleMania. And then The Undertaker would win the Royal Rumble. Seriously, The Undertaker would win the Royal Rumble. Then and there, you could have Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker again revisit each other in the Royal Rumble. It's every man for himself. You could have Kurt Angle in the Royal Rumble. Like I said, Daniel Bryan. This would be the biggest fucking Royal Rumble of all time. WWE has a few different avenues to go down. You know, the WWE Championship in a John Cena versus Undertaker match will be fucking fantastic. You know, The Undertaker, I'm hearing from Jim Ross, I'm hearing from other people that I'm reading online, that The Undertaker is feeling great. You know, he doesn't look to be hanging up the boots anytime soon. He's 51 years old. If the body can keep going, he is going to continue to give us years of his body in a WWE ring. Why not? You know, Brock Lesnar is a part-time WWE champion. WWE did fine with that. They did great with that. They didn't seem to mind that. And the way they're building up the U.S. Championship with John Cena now, and I'm hearing that he might bring back the Open Challenge on Monday Night Raw. You got Kevin Owens with the IC title. Both of those belts will be built up. You can build your shows around those titles. You don't necessarily need the WWE Championship on every show. Seth Rollins right now, a lot of people are even saying that Seth Rollins is overexposed. Maybe the WWE title needs to take a back seat just slightly. And the Undertaker being a part-time champion wouldn't be all that much of a bad idea. But WWE has a lot that they can do. They got a lot of different avenues that they can visit. But all I know is I don't want to see Braun Strowman in a match with the Undertaker, man. I just don't. That would reek, and that would bring back horrid memories of WrestleMania 9 and the Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez, man. Fuck that. Fuck that. And then again, they fought at that SummerSlam, and then that was it. The 1993 SummerSlam. Nobody wants to see that, man. That match is awful. That match is awful, and I don't think Braun Strowman right now is having any business to be in the ring with the Undertaker, especially at a WrestleMania. You don't need to do that. He's part of the Wyatt family. Leave it there. I think John Cena and the Undertaker right now is a great match for WrestleMania. Out of those three, I think Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, I really think Brock Lesnar is going to be the one to challenge Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the title. I think John Cena is going to be the one to square off against the Undertaker. But then where does that leave Triple H? Where does that leave Sting? WWE can go a bunch of different routes. I know, I mentioned yesterday the Rock versus Brock Lesnar. Do you pass up on that match to get Brock Lesnar in a match with Seth Rollins? I really don't know, man. You can have The Rock versus Triple H. A lot of different things, man. And I don't want to confuse myself. There's just so much moving parts right now for WrestleMania. I'm stressed out thinking about it. I'm sure Vince McMahon is stressed out thinking about it. All I know is that Vince McMahon will not be happy unless that stadium is filled with 100,000 people. I'm not sure Vince McMahon is ever going to be happy. But what I know needs to happen is that WWE needs to get the pieces in place right now for WrestleMania. You don't want to wait till Royal Rumble comes around and you're still scrambling for fucking main event matches at WrestleMania. This is the biggest show that WWE will ever put on. Things need to be in place now. Ideas need to be fucking planned out. Things need to get in motion right now. But I could tell you, I could sit here for fucking hours and tell you how I would book WrestleMania. We'll talk about it at the end of the video because I believe one of you guys actually asked that. We'll discuss that. And, I don't know, man. We're just going to have to wait and see. But right now, out of the three names, I think John Cena makes the most sense for The Undertaker at WrestleMania. But I want it to be built around something. It's got to be intriguing. It's got to have a fucking storyline to it. You just can't put those two guys in the ring just because. I want it to be captivating. Why are these two guys crossing paths now after the streak has already been broken? WWE's got to fucking bring that and build that feud around something, man. It needs to happen. I believe it will happen at WrestleMania. He spat in the face of people who didn't want to be cool. According to Court Bauer and Conan of MLW Radio, former superstar Carlito may be making a return to World Wrestling Entertainment. It's been reported on numerous occasions how WWE officials are looking to bring aboard more Hispanic stars, especially following the departures of key figures in Rey Mysterio and Alberto Del Rio. A return in Carlito would signify WWE's continued desire to build on the Hispanic market, as the Lucha Dragons of Kalisto and Sin Cara are the only notable stars of that nationality on the current roster. Carlito won the championship gold in his first match with the company, defeating John Cena to become the WWE United States Champion on SmackDown. He was also part of the first ever unified WWE Tag Team Champions, winning the straps with brother Primo prior to WrestleMania 25 against The Miz and John Morris in a match I thought should have been on the main card. I believe that was the pre-show match. Where am I here? Carlito was released on May 21st, 2010, following a wellness violation. He also refused to enter a rehab facility for an apparent addiction to painkillers. The latest Wrestling Observer newsletter notes that WWE had, in fact, extended a contract to the former United States Champion. However, the deal was so low that he ultimately turned it down. Apparently, WWE believes... I knew it. I knew I had to cough at one fucking point in this video. Sorry about that. Apparently, WWE believes that if they raise their offer enough, Carlito will accept and make his return. Officials want the 36-year-old to be a part of the repackaging of Los Matadores, as Carlito is the brother of Diego and cousin of Fernando. I think Carlito back in the mid-card will be an excellent choice for WWE, but the thing is, if you're going to bring in Carlito, man, if you're going to bring in these old-timers, number one, it kind of reeks of desperation on WWE's part. The desire to get into that Hispanic market, man. You got the Lucha Dragons. I think they're great. Utilize them to their fullest potential, man. Make them a centerpiece of the tag team division, man. Instead of treating them like fucking jobbers, fucking highlight them on Monday Night Raw. Give them a tag team title feud, man. I would love to see those guys. I love their work down in NXT, and I would love to see that continue on the main roster. You got the Lucha Dragons, man. You don't got to go out and get Carlito. Now, Carlito, I would love to see back in the WWE, man. I enjoyed his gimmick. I enjoyed him in the ring. I enjoyed what he brought to the mid-card. I think him and a mid-card feud with anybody, man, a Kevin Owens, a John Cena, etc., etc. I think that would be great to see back on WWE Monday Night Raw, man. But WWE trying to go out and get Carlito, man. Will it happen? Only time will tell. But apparently, like the report said, they want him to be a part of the repackaging of Los Matadores. Carlito is the brother of Diego and the cousin of Fernando. So Los Matadores, man, that gimmick, gone. WWE is planning on repackaging them and getting them a new gimmick. That was a failed gimmick from the start, man. As soon as they made their debut, I hated it. And that fucking bull, El Torito, fucking hated it, man. But Diego and Fernando, hopefully they come back with something a little bit more adult-like. I do think the gimmick was too gimmicky. It was too 1980s. I mean, you don't want to go fucking way back when and give these guys a shit gimmick like that. It never got over. Nobody fucking cared. Nobody seemed to enjoy the gimmick at all. Nobody took them seriously. But if Carlito's going to be a part of that packaging or repackaging, it's going to be interesting to see, man. But I would love to see Carlito back in the mid-card just by himself, man. Carlito cool coming back into the WWE. I mean, he spat in the face of people who didn't want to be cool, man. I just like that. It was cool, and it was something different, and I think he would do well in the mid-card, especially with the way WWE's building up the United States Championships and the Intercontinental Championships, respectively. NXT TakeOver Respect goes down on October 7th at Full Sail University, exclusively on the WWE Network. This is the full card for the show. Tyler Breeze versus Apollo Crews. We got a Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic semifinal. Baron Corbin and Rhino versus either the Mojo Brothers, Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley, or Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. Then we got Finn Balor and Samoa Joe versus the Mechanics, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Then the finals will take place on the show. And then Bayley versus Sasha Banks for the NXT Women's Championship in a 30-minute Iron Man match, man. That is going to be great. Can't wait to see this card. Can't wait to see this show. I will be reviewing it right here on my channel. Sting news, guys. For the first time since that match with Seth Rollins at Night of Champions, Sting has come forward to WWE.com with exclusive details on his health. WWE.com asks, it's been a few days since your match at Night of Champions. How are you feeling? Sting says, aside from a stiff neck, I'm a little banged up, but otherwise I feel good. Pretty standard after wrestling a match like that. Can you set everyone straight on the extent of your injury as you await further evaluation? Sting was out of the hospital. He was released from the hospital, but while in the hospital, he was out like a light. They had a neck brace on me, and they were pumping me with medication to get me out of pain. I had to do a CAT scan and an MRI. They ended up taking my wife, talking to my wife, and I have some details from my wife, but I still have further evaluation ahead. They mentioned cervical spinal stenosis, but that's only part of what I heard. I don't know if there's anything else. The doctor did tell my wife he's going to have to get this dealt with. He's lucky he walked out of there. WWE.com also asked, at this point, what's your prognosis, both short-term and long-term? Sting says, bottom line, I had tingling, numbness down both of my arms all the way to my fingertips. And then later in that match, I just felt wrong. Whatever it was, and this time, the tingling and numbness went down both of my arms and into my legs, and I couldn't feel my legs too well. They just felt like rubber. I don't know how to describe it. I had to go down on all fours there for a minute, get my composure. I was a little worried. And then WWE.com always asks, they got to ask the fucking obvious question. Where does this leave Sting? Was this your last match? He says that he hates when he's asked that question because the answer truly is a question mark. And the question mark is as bold as it could ever be at this point. And then WWE.com says wait and see. And then Sting says yes for now. So Sting, man, looks like he's going to be out for a little bit. I don't think this is going to be career ending. I don't think Sting is going to want to go out like that at all. He did not look good in that match towards the end of it. And according to him, he couldn't feel his legs. He couldn't feel his arms. He had numbness and tingling. So I'm glad that the WWE ended that match when they did. They didn't want it to drag on any further. That could have really cost Sting his career. And good on WWE for getting the doctor in there, and the referee stopped the match for a little bit, and then they went to a quick ending with that roll-up, and Seth Rollins retained the WWE Championship at Night of Champions. But Sting, I do think Sting will be back. He just needs to take some time away and heal up. I think he will be back in the WWE. And finally, guys, to end the news portion of Off the Script, SmackDown has a few months left on Sci-Fi before they move to the USA Network in January. We all know how these things turn out, and there should be more emphasis on the show once it moves to the USA Network, but it will be interesting to see if they continue to focus on the show after WrestleMania season. History shows us that every major move, UPN to CW, CW to My Network TV, My Network TV to Sci-Fi, they always put extra emphasis on the show, but that fades away after a few months, and then the show becomes an afterthought. Always happens. Always happens. Dave Meltzer notes that we should be seeing more interesting changes on the show in January, and they are looking to make a new look for the show and have some new ideas. I think one thing that they could do is that the show could be the focus on the Intercontinental title. The show can still be treated as a big deal, but they can put a bigger spotlight on some of the wrestlers that don't get too much time on Monday Night Raw. Daniel Bryan's idea earlier this year, which was discussed with Daniel Bryan, was to be the guy on SmackDown, the top guy on SmackDown, as the Intercontinental Champion. It would elevate the title and elevate a crop of wrestlers as opposed to just spotlighting them the same names week after week on Monday Night Raw. That could be an idea, but then that's getting too close to the brand split, and I don't think a brand split would be good right now. I think WWE, that's just laziness on their part. I think that's more work, honestly. It's easier to take one show and move it over to the next show. Take what you have happen on Monday Night Raw and move it over to SmackDown, but WWE's not doing it in a way that, shows us that they care, They treat the mid-card like fucking garbage. They gave the title to Ryback. Now it's on Kevin Owens. You could build genuine, intriguing feuds, but they refuse to. The Divas Revolution is a fucking wash right now. Charlotte won the title. Hopefully some changes to come. Kevin Owens is now the newly crowned Intercontinental Champion. Hopefully changes to come. John Cena is now the new United States Champion again. So hopefully we see that title being built up. WWE has pieces in place where they can have intriguing storylines for the mid-card, and then they can transpire over to SmackDown. They don't necessarily need to have a main guy on SmackDown and then a main guy on Raw, and you need to build SmackDown around one guy. That's laziness to me, man. Laziness to me. WWE's got all the fucking talented people that they can on the main roster. Use them. You got a bunch of different scenarios, a bunch of different things that they could do from Monday Night Raw to SmackDown. Book it accordingly, man. How can I take a fucking video game and book Monday Night Raw? Great. But these guys can't use it with the real life personas of these people, man. I just don't understand it. I really don't get it. I don't like the idea of having a top guy on SmackDown and just leaving him there and building up that brand and guys that aren't used on Monday Night Raw. Use them on Monday Night Raw. You got 3 fucking hours of Monday Night Raw. You mean to tell me you can't fill out 3 hours of fucking TV? I don't know. What are you doing with 3 hours, man? I don't understand why Monday Night Raw is so shit. You got people on the roster for Monday Night Raw. 3 hours to fill. Use it. Christ. It's not that difficult. We've been explaining this for years, and now WWE is coming up with the idea, oh, maybe we should put this guy solely on SmackDown. No. Nobody watches SmackDown. I don't watch SmackDown. I watch Raw, man. I want to see everybody, all hands on deck on Monday Night Raw. Why? Because it's the flagship show. Take what you have on Monday Night Raw and leave the storylines there and then transition them over to SmackDown. Make it intriguing, man. Make me go from one show to the next. The last time I watched SmackDown was God knows when, man. I just don't, because I don't care. I don't care. So SmackDown, going to be changes coming in January. And obviously that debut show on the USA Network is going to be big for a couple of weeks. And then WWE's going to fucking say, fuck it. Forget about it. It's going to be an insignificant thought after that. As always with WWE when they fucking move from network to network. So that's the move on SmackDown. That's the news on SmackDown. Let's get into the Q&A, guys. We're going to take a few of your questions from Twitter only, because I forgot to mention it because I was so sick in yesterday's video. A lot going on in yesterday's video. I forgot to mention you guys can leave your questions in the comments section, but we're going to take Twitter questions right now. We're going to get right into that, so join me over there for the Q&A. You guys have been asking for it, man. And finally, I have delivered, courtesy of ProWrestlingTees.com, you can now own the official WWE Off The Script t-shirt. And to get yours today, all you got to do is simply go to www.ProWrestlingTees.com/offthescript, and you now can represent the #1 fucking source for all WWE right here on YouTube.com. www.ProWrestlingTees.com/WWE Off The Script, and remember, hashtag fuck those other guys, man. Alright, guys, here's some of the Twitter questions that you used on my Twitter wall using the hashtag OTS84. I'm going to start off with Jonathan Brown. He says, at JD from NY206, who do you think will face The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32, John Cena or Sting? Out of the two, it's definitely going to be John Cena. This is from David Wells. Do you think The Undertaker and Sting belong in the Hall of Fame? And when they go in next year, night before WrestleMania 32, I think Sting is definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame. Undertaker is obviously a Hall of Famer. When they go in remains to be seen. I don't know who the WWE is going to have as the top billing for WrestleMania 32 in Dallas. It could be Sting. It could be The Undertaker. Only time will tell on that. But it certainly would be the most logical choice for one of them or both of them to go into the WWE Hall of Fame in Texas, being that they both reside in the Lone Star State. This is from Philip Loves WWE on Twitter. How many more years do you see John Cena being a full-time wrestler in the WWE? John Cena has a good 5 or 6 years left, so get used to it. This is from Callum on Twitter. Hashtag OTS84. What's the worst main event of a pay-per-view you can remember? Anything involving The Big Show. Plain and simple. This is from Look At Him on Twitter. Where do you see WWE in the next 5 years? I think the WWE in the next 5 years has a very, very bright future ahead of them. The only place that they can go is up with Samoa Joe, Apollo Crews, Tyler Breeze, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan, etc., etc. They got a plethora of talent that could take them to the next level, that could bring us a product that we loved so much back in the early 90s and late 80s, man. They have the fucking pieces in place to make the WWE special again. They just need to get all on the right page and do it for the fucking fans, man. Enough of the fucking political bullshit. Enough of the internal politics. You got guys like Finn Balor and Samoa Joe and this and that they can build and give us intriguing television with, man. We as a fan base want to see wrestling. You know, we want to see engaging, simple storylines that go on from week to week. We don't want to see this fucking petty days of our lives bullshit like we see with Dolph Ziggler and Rusev, man. They got the pieces in place. The only place that they can go is up. The WWE is the only fucking... They're the only people right now that can fuck this up. Within the next 5 years, the WWE... All I see is them going up. You know? They got the pieces in place. But, listen, internal politics and Vince McMahon and not knowing what to do and not liking a certain group of superstars, it's just going to fuck them over in the end. If that's the way they're going to think, if that's the ideals that they're going to carry on into the future, not going to work, man. And WWE is just going to remain the same. You know, they got all the pieces in place to make it special, but you can't let internal politics get the best of you. Seriously. This is from Renzo Borg on Twitter. What do you think about the invasion angle back in 2001, and when did the Attitude Era end for you personally? The invasion angle, you know, I honestly, to be honest with you guys, that was one of the years I just completely stopped watching WWE. I was so out of it by then because I just thought it was so fucking stupid. I didn't care about anything back in during that time. The Attitude Era for me ended, shit, I don't, that's a tough one, man. Attitude Era for me ended pretty much when Stone Cold said goodbye, man. That was it. Stone Cold walked out of the WWE. When Stone Cold left, that was it, man. It was over for me after that because the one piece of the Attitude Era, the most important piece of the Attitude Era, just left, got up and went. And Stone Cold's been very vocal about that. So with Steve Austin leaving the WWE for that extended period of time when he did, I think the Attitude Era left with him, man. This is from Double Lorded. Who's the most underrated wrestler on the current roster? Gotta be Cesaro, man. Without question, gotta be Cesaro. This is from Wrestling for All. If Matt won't return, then who will Jeff feud with once he is back? A lot of guys, man. You can feud Jeff with a lot of guys. Seth Rollins. You can feud him with Dean Ambrose. You can feud him with Daniel Bryan. You can feud him with Kevin Owens. A lot of things you could do with Jeff Hardy, man. But I think if you're going to get Jeff, you're going to get Matt along with him. I think the Hardy Boys as a unit have more face value than just if Jeff came with the to the WWE. But I do think Matt and Jeff will both be back. Vanilla Gorilla, how would you rebuild the tag team division if you could have a clean slate? Which teams would you build up and get rid of? This is a good question. I would definitely promote Enzo and Cass. I think their energy is needed on Monday Night Raw. Okay, they got a great entrance. They got the energy to get the crowd going. I think they got excellent personalities that will fucking gravitate towards the WWE fan base, young and old on that point. I think Enzo and Cass need to be on the main roster. Period. You got the Dudley Boys. You got the New Day. You have the Lucha Dragons. You have the Ascension. Primetime Players, I'm not a real big fan of, but they are a decent team. You know, it sucks that Tyson Kidd and Cesaro are no longer together right now because of Tyson Kidd's injury. You know, other teams that WWE have on the main roster, I don't know who the fuck else is there, really. Who else? I mean, you got the Usos coming back. You know, you got the Wyatt family, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman. You can even have Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose fight for the titles. You got a lot of fucking teams right there. The Dudleys. You got a lot of teams right there where WWE can have a truly competitive division. I would build everybody that I just mentioned right there. That's what I would build a tag team division off of. And in some cases, you got Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose where they can easily be a singles guy as well. They can do their singles things as well and still be tag team champions. That's the one unique part about them. You know, the other teams, they are solely tag teams, but then you got Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and even Luke Harper and Braun Strowman. They could be singles as well if you want them to. So you got those two teams where each one of those four guys can do their own singles thing and still maintain a tag team and hold on to the tag team championships. But out of all those teams that I just mentioned, that's a great division right there. That's a great division. You got to stop fucking around with the Ascension. You got to build them up. Stop fucking around with the Lucha Dragons. Stop giving us these fatal four-way fucking matches. Stop giving us these multi-man matches. You need to put teams together in a ring, 2 against 2, and build their individuality, man. You got to build and develop these teams and get them known to the WWE audience. You can't do that when you're giving us fatal four-ways. You can't do that when you're putting fucking 12 guys in the ring at one time. It's not going to work, man. It's a fucking mess. It's chaos. And you can't really learn about the team. You can't understand the team. You can't become a fan of the team if they're in and out of the ring for fucking 2 minutes and they're fucking doing high spots. It's not working, man. That doesn't work for them. So everybody that I just mentioned, that's how I would rebuild the tag team division. I would have a tournament. I would have the Dudley Boys are probably going to win the tag team titles before the end of the year. Why not have a tournament? Get people excited in the tag team division again. And that's what I would do, man. Treat it like a gold mine, which it is right now. WWE hasn't had this plethora of teams. WWE hasn't had the quality of teams that they do now in years. And the Usos are coming back. It's only going to make things better. WWE has a great time, a great division that they can build off of, but they refuse to. You know, we as fans love tag team wrestling, and I just wish WWE would cater to that and give us tag team wrestling. You know, it's not that difficult, man. It's very, very easy to get people interested in tag team wrestling. They got the pieces. Use them. Dawson Young, who do you think will face Finn Balor at NXT Respect? Finn Balor will not be defending the NXT title. There's no reason for him to defend the NXT title. That event is all about Bayley and Sasha Banks in the main event. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe will be the next NXT Championship match for TakeOver in December. But Finn Balor and Samoa Joe are probably going to win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Invitational. This is from Nate. Who would you book as your next 3 WWE champions? Can't really say right now, man. I really don't think that the WWE is any position to crown 3 WWE champions. Thinking ahead, man. They got Seth Rollins right now. I think Brock Lesnar needs another time with the title. I think John Cena is definitely going to have another time with the title. And, you know, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Roman Reigns gets built up to the point where WWE wanted him to be at and they give him a WWE Championship. I could hopefully see The Undertaker maybe with one more run. You know, I would love to see Daniel Bryan as a WWE Champion again. You know, who knows, man. But next 3 WWE Champions right now, I think the next WWE Champion is going to be Brock Lesnar. I think Seth Rollins is going to hold it until WrestleMania 32, where Brock Lesnar regains that title and once again is crowned the Beast Incarnate of the WWE. This is fucking skag. Hey, yo, my wrestling skills are better than that Buff Llama. Draft picks, the only thing that Llama picks are better than is my mic skills. This is from Rattlesnake Jake. Yeah, thanks for the input, bro. Thanks for the input, bro. I'll see you guys on Destiny. This is from Dominican Trillfam415 on Twitter. Do you see Brock Lesnar getting a title shot at WrestleMania 32? Yes. This is from Alex Delgado. How would you book WrestleMania 32, man? This is a very in-depth question. I would probably have Daniel Bryan versus Kurt Angle, and that feud would take place in the Royal Rumble. Triple H versus The Rock. They built that off of WrestleMania 31 last year in San Francisco, or this year rather, in San Francisco with the whole Ronda Rousey, Stephanie McMahon incident. I think The Rock versus Triple H would make a lot of sense. Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. John Cena versus The Undertaker. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship, where Sami Zayn finally gets his ultimate revenge on Kevin Owens and captures the Intercontinental Championship. And those are the only matches that I could think of. Other than that, if the Hardy Boys return, Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys in a TLC match. 6 matches right there, man. Right then and there, that would be the greatest card WWE could ever put on in the foreseeable future, man. That would be fucking unbelievable. If it happens, you heard it first here on Off The Script. Alright, this is from Lace Up. He says, do you think the Ruthless Aggression era was the best time in WWE alongside with the Attitude Era? I enjoyed the Attitude Era more than the Ruthless Aggression era, but I did enjoy most of the Ruthless Aggression era. The Attitude Era, though, will always be king for the WWE. And that is everything from Twitter, guys. That is everything from Twitter. I posted it late last night. Thank you guys for participating. Every Sunday, I will hold a Q&A for you guys right here on Off The Script Part 3. But thank you guys for watching, man. If you did enjoy it, hit that like button, subscribe if you have not done so. Please show some sponsors down below some love, guys. My sponsors for the show, WrestleCrate.com, Justin LaBar over at ShareShot Reality, LaBar, Eisenberg, and Ghoulish ShareShot Reality at WrestleZone.com. You got ProWrestlingTees.com/WWE Off The Script. Buy a fucking t-shirt. If not, you can always donate to the show, man, through my PayPal. That link is down below as well. If you missed Off The Script this weekend, parts 1 and 2 in the description and in the top right corner of the video. I will be back probably with a Monday Night Raw review tomorrow, guys. Right after the show, going live. It'll be up after the show, so look forward to that. Until then, guys, hopefully I'm better next week. Hopefully JD's back at 100% with no coughing and no spitting up phlegm and all this other bullshit. But thank you guys for watching. This is Off The Script, the #1 source right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. And I'll be back next week, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.